Did not like he want to make a play. They just walked out. They just made a showing. But they did come in, like the same face. The nigga did come in, you know. See, I don't talk. See, they know me through my whole bit. I don't talk because I don't fuck with nobody. If you cross me, I'm dealing with it right then, right now. I ain't know tomorrow we gonna talk about it. Mm-mm. I'm squashing it right then on the spot. That's how I roll, man. My whole bit. You don't have no reason to cut into me. You dig? For nothing. Because I'm a good brother. All I do is show love. All I do is try to help motherfuckers, guide motherfuckers, build motherfuckers up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to take away or diminish anybody. You know what I'm saying? So you have no reason to cut into me cross any way, any kind of way. So when you do, I deal with you right there. Bam! I don't talk. When it comes to that kind of shit, that survival of the fittest, I don't talk. That's what it is, survival of the fittest. You know, when it comes to life-threatening situations. Now, this guy was a hitman. He got bodies. He got blood on his hand, you know. So it's nothing to him to take a body, you know. And now he up in here, he picked one of the littlest guys up in here with another motherfucker. He couldn't even, you know, do it by himself. He was big enough to squeeze him by, but he had to have a buddy on, you know, some backup on little bitty LA. I said, nah. LA came and got the right one. But I was glad that his little partner, you know, stayed with us, man. Because in the event that I rolled out or something, at least they two were still together. And they remember that impression we put on them suckers. Yeah, they might be money still, motherfucker. But these two little motherfuckers ready to go. You know, he ain't by himself no more. You know, he got a motherfucker to roll with, he gonna roll, nigga. But the way we went up in that motherfucking housing unit, so motherfucking gangster. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about your reputation, your status, no nothing. It don't mean nothing. Nigga, you can get it, the business like anybody else in this bitch. You know, so I just wanted to share that story because that could have cost me my whole life. I could end up murdering that guy. And I was willing to murder that guy at that moment. If he would have made the wrong move, I would have killed that guy on the spot. LA and them would have killed the other dude. We would have had two bodies on our hands. And none of us would have ever got out of prison. But it's a game of chance. Chances make champions. You got to stand up. You got to be willing every day to die. To live or die. You got to be willing every day. Because you don't know when one of these crazy motherfuckers going to push up on you wrong. Want to try you. So you got to be ready to take a motherfucker out anytime. I wasn't locking up. You wasn't running me off the yard. That means somebody had to go. I wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't going no motherfucking where, nigga. Shit. So what's up? Give a fuck, you got 4 or 5 motherfuckers with you, nigga. I ain't going nowhere, nigga. What's up? What up? You know, so, and, shit, so. But like I said, that was a period where, you know, where I wanted to defend, help a friend, you know, that was in a real serious situation, you know, and And the only way that we could have approached that situation to bring a resolution to it was the way I designed it to play out. That was the only way. He had to know that we was willing to die if you push this motherfucker, this envelope. You push this envelope, you push this button, that we was willing to die. He had to know that. Anything less, he wasn't buying. Nah, not no killer. Not no motherfucker that got bodies on his motherfucking notches on his pistol. And multiple notches on his pistol. No. That's the only thing he understand. Is that another motherfucker willing to take your ass out too. Straight up, nigga. And it was that moment that I realized something. That killers like living too. That killers like living too. So from that point on, I stepped to him just like that. Raw, uncut, unfazed, unintimidated, unafraid, ready to die. Yep. And they knew that. But I had a lot of people, especially a lot of the old heads, who knew me as I rose over the years, how I carried myself over the decades. They intervene on my behalf sometimes and shut shit down. And now don't fuck with dude. Don't fuck with Cleve, man. It's a real motherfucker, don't fuck with him. I've had some leaders of organizations to step in on my behalf, even though I didn't ask them to. But they know the character of the person I was. And when I fuck with them, we chop it up, kick it, they know me. They know my character. And they hear something, nah, hey, send a message to so-and-so, tell the little crew to shut that shit down, dog. You got to pass, don't fuck with them. And they shut it down. So I ain't saying I was just all this, I've had some help too, some big boys that intervene on my behalf. You understand me? So shit goes around now, But I'm just giving you some insight on how the games people play and the moves people make, in the world of survival of the fittest. Just saying that just to give you a little insight, a little more insight into my life experience in that motherfucker. It was, but I made it. I made it through, man. 33 years, I made it. I made it out with my sanity and my sanity intact, So I end up wrapping that experience up, but like I said, most of my experience was just educational, really. Like I said, I did opticianry, optical work. I had my master's auto mechanic license. I did architectural drafting, mechanical drafting, certification, industrial sewing certificates, landscaping and garden. I mean, anything I can learn, after college or whatever, I continue to just learn, continue to study, take classes and stuff like that. And then when I couldn't do that, I ordered books from Barnes and Nobles, you know. And I probably read more books after college than I did while I was going to college. Yeah. So I had a very extensive educational experience in there. My whole time was one of studiousness, you know, to put it plainly. And so eventually I end up going to the parole board. And my mindset going into that parole hearing was, I'm going in there like I'm trying to get off of death row. That was my attitude. Because in the joint, you do 30 years, they consider that as a life bit. I mean, you gave your the best part of your years of your life up, incarcerated. That your life is, you done did a life bit. 30 years, you done did a life bit. Some people say 20, but 30, you definitely done a life bit. So I did 33, so I was like, I still felt like I was, on death row. It was just a slow death. 30-something years, that's a slow death, So I went up in there and I was prepared, and I remember the parole lady after the hearing was over. She said, Mr. Baffert, not only did you tell me what I come to hear, you went far and above that. But I'm not telling you got a parole, but we'll be getting back with you in 30 days. But I knew the moment when she told me that I went far, not only did I tell her what she came to hear, if she would have just said that, I knew I had got my parole. Because I told her what she came to hear. But she said, you went far and beyond what I came to hear. Because I was trying to teach that lady a profound perspective on rehabilitation from a human perspective and how that look. So when we talked about what brought me to prison and the assault, the stuff trouble I got in while in prison, and then the education process, the transformation process, while I was getting toward the end, how I transformed myself. I drew a picture for her of how rehabilitation should look from a human perspective. I painted a picture for her. She was like, no, not only did you tell me when I came to here, you exceeded my expectations. I knew I had a parole. And she went back and she fought for me. And I got a parole 2015. After doing 33 years, I got a parole. And wow. It was strange coming home to a world I know nothing about. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't scared of anything. Well, I was a little nervous about culture, the violent culture that had emerged over the decades. The sensibilities of people. They're so quick, to want to cap, put a cap in your ass over some real simple kindergarten, mundane stuff. No more fighting. Fights is over. Them days over with. Everybody pistol carrying a pistol. So I was a little nervous how to approach people. I didn't want to offend nobody. I'm very reluctant. To say the least. How I express myself and say stuff to people. But I eventually caught on pretty fast. Knew how to keep my distance, and I knew how to be respectful to people. And so as I'm on parole, and so first thing I do, I go down south and meet all my family members that I hadn't met over the decades, and because while I was out on parole, them 2 years between 15 and 17, my parole officer wouldn't let me leave the state, so I couldn't go nowhere. So I really couldn't leave the state of 2017. So really, that's when I was really free after I get out parole. I wasn't under the, jurisdiction of the MDOC anymore. I was totally free now to do what I want at 2017. So technically, this is 6 years, been totally free. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's 5 years. This September this year, it'd be 6. Be totally free, without being under their jurisdiction. So I go down south. On my way back, I meet a girl in Nashville because I stopped and hung out for an evening on Broadway, in Nashville, and partied in the honky tonks, bars and shit. They were jamming now. Don't get it twisted, motherfucker. I didn't know honky tonk was so cool. They can kick ass. They be jamming. I didn't know they jam like that. They get out. Don't underestimate them, motherfucker. So I had a good time. So I met a girl out